What's up, everybody? This is from the Depths Collectables, and today we're going to get into a little custom corner video. Today we're going to take this Superman figure and turn it into a gladiator Superman. Give him some more armor, make him look more, gladiator-like. And I'm also going to add maybe, some custom accessories. So let's go ahead and get into this. Alrighty guys, here is the figure out of the box. It looks really cool, but my biggest gripe with this figure is I believe it was sculpted to only be posed in one direction. Case in point is it's suffering from the famous McFarlane side eye, where he's looking off to the right. It's, really hard to pose him any other direction other than him looking in one, right direction. And also, I don't really like this leg. This leg is sculpted very weird. Like, the seam of his leg is, indicating that his leg is pointing this way. But, his ankles just have like the weirdest articulation. But it's nothing that we can't fix, nothing that we can't address. We're going to go ahead and, put some pieces together, see what fits. And I have a rough idea of what I want to do with this guy, and hopefully it all comes together. So let's get into the pieces that I kind of want to use for this guy. Now for the head, I do have this Dr. Fate helmet, and I really do like this helmet. I'm thinking about just taking off the head and just putting this on, and I was thinking about cutting it, maybe opening up the face mask part right here to add in his facial features. But I might just go ahead and add this entire head just to the sculpt and either maybe build off of it or just leave it as is and maybe touch up the eyes to where it looks more like his eyes than it does Dr. Fate's eyes. But I feel like this one will look really cool. But I do have to take off this neck brace right here. It does have some, plastic pegs that go into the neck itself. I don't know if you can see, it's right here. So I do have to break those off. And, once those come off, I am going to fill that in with some epoxy, some epoxy sculpt that in, paint it over, blend it all in. And it's going to be nice and easy. No problem with that. That way this head can fit on here because it does have this super, really long lip on the end of it, and that way it can move around, because if not, that thing's not going to be able to get on there. Now luckily this Dr. Fate head does fit the body sculpt pretty good. Some of these figures, even though they are a part of the same line, they're part of the same scale, sometimes the pieces don't fit. One is bigger than the other, the body's bigger or the heads are bigger. Sometimes you got to work with mixing and matching these pieces. So when coming to kit bashing McFarlane pieces, you got to be kind of selective and, trying to figure out what body types work with what body types. So this will work perfect with this guy. We're going to mess around with more pieces and see what we could come up with. Alright guys, let's go ahead and put the head on there to see how it looks. First things first, we're going to have to pop this little neck brace off. This thing does kind of get in the way of the helmet, and I cannot put the head on without taking this off. So let's go ahead and just pop it off, because it just comes off nice and easy. It was glued in here, but I just off camera just pried it off. We will go ahead and just fill in these holes with some epoxy, not so crazy looking like it is right now, but the head should fit on there nice and easy. It does look really cool with it. That's what the head looks like with the body. It looks really cool already. Now what I'm going to do is figure out some armor pieces to add to this body so it's not so plain. And I'm going to, brainstorm some ideas. I'm going to look at some figures that I have. Maybe I can, pillage some armor pieces off of those, or maybe just cast some pieces and make my own armor. So let's look at some stuff and see what we got. So first up is the Dr. Fate body that we used the head from. Now this one has some really awesome looking armor, and I'm thinking about using the shin pads and the knee pads. Even though it has all these Egyptian symbols and stuff, that can easily be sanded down and just easily modified. So what I'm gonna do is make a casting of both the shin pads and the knee pads. That way I can make my own out of epoxy, and that's gonna be nice and easy, to be honest, guys, because I do have this mold maker where I take the two parts of the molds and you mix them together and you could create kind of like a putty. And I could use that, just stick it up against it, and it can make a mold almost instantly. So I'm gonna use that stuff, and I'm gonna make a mold of this and see how it works. All right, here are the molds that I had made. So like I said, just stick the mold up against the armor pieces that I needed, and it made a perfect casting. All right, guys, here's some of the armor pieces from the castings that we had made. It looks really, really good. This is after, doing the sanding, doing the cutting off of the excess and all that stuff, and basically getting the entire look that I want to do. So what I'm going to do is make another set of these two pieces so that way I can have, armor pieces on both legs. And after that, what I'm going to do is hit everything with some paint, make sure everything's all the same color, and then I'm going to start gluing these pieces to the legs. And what I'm thinking about doing for the shin piece is also adding like a strap to the back, two straps to hold it to the leg, which I'm not really going to use it to hold to the leg, but that way, it's more accurate, so it's not just like a floating armor piece on the shin, and it's something that, would be more realistic. Right, after some painting and whatnot and some messing around, also grabbing some extra pieces, after painting it and everything, this is what we're going to go for, a kind of bronze look for everything. I'm really liking how it kind of came out. And I did get some extra pieces off of the Dr. Fate, which are going to be these, little loincloth looking pieces. I'm going to add it to the figure right here, jazz up the little thing right here so it doesn't look like he's just wearing underwear. And then right here, I did modify the shin pad a little bit. I did paint it, but then, I was looking at it and I didn't like the little hook at the end. What I did was I dremeled it off and then sanded it straight, so it's all, nice and even. I am going to go over it again, obviously, with the paint and everything like that, but that's what I'm going to do with it. That's basically this, final shape of the shin pad, and it's going to look really cool. That's about it, guys. I'm going to go ahead, just start hitting everything with paint. I am going to paint the helmet right here. I am going to paint it the same bronze color as the rest of the armor so it all fits in. It's not just going to be this, gold piece on, a bunch of brass looking armor. And I am going to paint the mohawk. I'm going to paint it red, the same kind of color as the cape and the symbol. And then I'm going to do a couple extra touch-ups. Like, obviously, I'm going to have to put some super glue right here because this kind of came out. And then, look around and see what else I need to do to this guy. But that's pretty much it. I finished up all the pieces that I kind of want to get for this guy. All it is just painting. Alright, guys. I went ahead and glued all the pieces onto the figure. And I went ahead and added some straps to the armor pieces, which is just the shin pads, the knee pads, and this little arm piece that I made for him. So now the next step is to paint everything. Even though I did put a little bit of base coat on some of the pieces, I am going to do the final paint right now on camera so you guys can see everything, even though most of this stuff I did off camera. I didn't want to bore you guys with all the little details and the fine tuning of all the little pieces and everything, but I am going to show you the painting process and how I'm going to finish this guy up. So let's go ahead and get into it and finish up this piece. All right, here's the body complete. It looks really awesome once the paint and everything is all complete. I went ahead and hit the buckle and the belt with some brass colorings to tie it in with the rest of the armor. And I went ahead and dirtied up the skin also to make it look like he's been out in the, you know, Coliseum fighting in the dirt pits and stuff like that. And I went ahead and dirtied up some of these straps to, you know, blend it in a little bit better with the rest of the figure, so it's not just, you know, a solid black color. And that's pretty much it for the body. Now I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the head, and I'm gonna finish up this figure because that's a long time coming, guys. It's been a little while. You know, I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, and I'm happy to finally get this thing done. So let's go ahead and finish up the head. There he is. He is looking really cool right now, guys. I'm not gonna lie. You know, it took a little while to get the planning and the pieces together. I even made a couple of pieces from scratch. You know, I did cast some things in, you know, molds and everything like that. And I borrowed some pieces from other figures. So it's kind of my first fully customized figure. As I usually tend to make figures that are just repaints or something like that, you know, just simple, you know, customs. But this one was a really fun project to do. This also helped with my creativity because I had to really brainstorm about getting some of these pieces onto the figure. And, you know, doing things like casting molds and stuff is something I haven't done before. So it was really fun to do all that stuff and everything come out looking really, really cool. I'm gonna take some glamour shots of this guy with weapons and everything like that. And if you like any of these kinds of videos, guys, be sure to like and subscribe to From the Depths Collectables, because I do things like this all the time where I take custom figures and customize them the way I like it. And we do other things like toy hauls, toy hunts, and things like reviews and stuff. So if you're into any of that stuff, be sure to subscribe to From the Depths Collectables, and I'll see you guys next time.